Hello, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team, and we're going to be continuing on our series about how Orcs take on tournament lists, and the next one we're going to be talking about is Vampire Counts. So, Vampire Counts, in a way, got a little bit dumbed down in 8th, just because they suffer in some missions, say like in Blood and Glory, and with all the extra combat going on, they crumble faster. However, they still have some very strong builds and things you have to be really watching out for. First of all, let's look at the three main elements of the army you're really going to be watching out for as far as their non-character units. And that's going to be the Grave Guard, Knights, and then Ethereal. So for Grave Guard, they have a crazy build they can do. You know, they take a horde of Grave Guard, they give them great weapons, Banner of Barrows, usually there's somebody with the Helm of Commandment making them +1 to hit, and then there's a banner guy and they're making them regen. So you just got a whole horde of these guys that are going to be 2+2+ to kill your orcs. You know, and so you maybe might get a parry if you have a shield, but apart from that, wow, these things will just cut through your lines like nothing. And so the question becomes, what in the world can you do to stop this? You know, if you take black orcs, they're going to be cut down. What in the world can you do? And really, the best thing we can do that we have over the vampire counts is our hordes. So first of all, number one thing, you can go for that big night goblin unit. You know, because they're strength 6, these guys, there's no reason to take nets. Just take a whole bunch of night goblins, put it in their way, and bog them down. The one danger of this you have to keep in mind though is just that this unit is so devastatingly killy that they're actually going to chop through that unit very quickly. A unit of, 60 of these guys are only going to probably buy you a couple of rounds of combat, if that. So you really have to go really big if you want to bog this down. But the main thing is that this unit of theirs is costing something like 600 plus points, with not counting characters. And so knowing that, if you're having 100 night goblins, you're having 300 points, tie them up, that's not too bad, as long as you get a lot done apart from that. The other thing you can do is try and tie them up with a character. If you take your war boss, whatever, you give him the item so that it's -1 to hit, make him weapon skill 10. What you can do then is make it so that all the attacks against him are going to be almost ineffectual, because the best they're going to be doing against you is probably hitting you on 6s. And that would mean that if you have that one war boss in the front, he can try and just tie them all up. The real danger here, of course, is that first of all, you're still going to be fighting combat res. You're not going to be having any room for the stubborn Helm of Command, and Graveguard have Killing Blow. So if anything ever really gets through, you're in big trouble. So that would be a way that could be, I could think maybe you do that if you really want to be aggressive and try and kill the BSB, so that character's there to hold them up and try and kill the BSB, but really that'd be a very aggressive way to go, and one that I don't think I'd really be suggesting. The only way that I'd actually maybe see that is if you're going to run a Congo line, and so the character in the front is that one that's the mainly you can't hit me because I'm a ninja character, and a second character in that unit has the Helm of Command to make everything stubborn. Really kind of a cheesy tactic, and people will be turning up your nose at you, but then again, this Graveguard thing is amazingly power gamey, and whatever it takes to stop them, do it. The next main threat you're going to be dealing with is Knights, usually Blood Knights. So these guys, they're super devastatingly killies. They destroyed anything in 7th, and in 8th, Steadfast holds them back. But the thing is, again, just like those Graveguard, they kill so quickly that they can usually chop through these things really quick. And a lot of times you're going to see a Lord joined with them, and he's going to have the Blood Drinker. And so whereas your first thing you might be thinking about is, okay, I'm going to take my War Machines and I'm going to blast these guys. Well, really, it's not going to help you, because sure, let's say in a block of 10 of these guys, you might kill 5 or 6 before combat. As soon as they run into combat, boom, that Lord raises them all up. So don't even bother. Same thing again, just try and bog them up. Whether it's either the huge long line of a whole bunch of night goblins, or if it's with the setup with the war boss where you can't hit me, so just put him in the front and make them waste all those attacks while you just try and stay there still stubborn. And again, with that, I mean, I guess you could try and kill the Vampire Lord, but Vampire Lords are amazingly tough. So again, you're really only left with both these choices of either the bog down or the, you know, aggressive, high risk way of having your war boss. The last major threat they're going to have is their Ethereal. So these are things where, you know, they could be taking a whole bunch of wraiths and spirit hosts, and they'll just throw them all at you, saying, "Ha ha ha! I hope you have enough magic weapons," and just kind of like roll you over. So of course, the only way to try and protect yourself from this is through magic. So make sure that if you know you're going to be fighting tournament vampire counts, that you have some magic weapons mixed in there. I know that great weapons are a great thing to have on our guys, but I mean, you just got to start mixing in some of those magic weapons sometimes. Be careful, or you could fall back to doing, you know, just magic missiles. Orcs and Goblins do have a good number of magic missiles, you know, especially the Orc one that does 2d6 strength 4. That can really devastate a unit of wraiths, but that's really the only thing to do there. And of course, you know, you could do the same thing as before of a big unit of Night Goblins and tie these guys up. Except for this time, nets will help you, because then they'll be wounding on 3s. Same thing with the Blood Knights. Now, a few other things you have to be watching out for is the scouting vampire. So what they can do is they'll take a vampire, they'll give him the forbidden lore, so you can get something like Purple Sun. They'll make him scouting, so Hunter in the Dark, or whatever that ability's called, and then they're giving you the power scroll to make sure this thing goes off. So he's going to scout beside your lines, move out right beside you, and just shoot this Purple Sun all the way down your lines. And there's really nothing you can do to stop it, really. And really, so when you're trying to think of that, if you see, or if you've heard that, okay, I'm against this guy next, and he's doing this kind of crazy trick, the very best thing you can do is try and make sure that he doesn't have a lot of spots around you that you can get close to your general. And it's so hard. I mean, you'd almost have to make a circle and hide your war boss in a bunker in the back and just hope that the Purple Sun doesn't go that far. And in the end, like I said, there's so little you can do to stop that. They can even be not even going on their side. You know, this guy, instead of scouting, could have fly up and blast you. I mean, it's the only thing that's going to stop this guy in the end is blasting him with comp scores in the end and saying, you know what, you're a dick. Here's a 0 for your comp score. I hope you had fun. So those are the main things to look out for. Some more general things when you're fighting vampire counts, now that we've dealt with all the depressing best you might see, is vampire counts, of course, the main thing you're going to know about them is that they're great for raising. You kill some guys and they come right back up. And the way that you're going to get ahead of this in 8th is going to be to get as many combats going on as you can. Because if they have, just say, this ghoul unit in combat, the lore can easily go and raise there. But if you're fighting some ghouls here, fighting these ghouls here, you're also fighting some guys over here, you got Corpse Guard here, well, all of a sudden, he's got to really spread around those power dice and try and do maybe, am I going to really just make sure this unit survives? Am I going to do just a little bit of raising everywhere? And so that's a great way to try and stretch that out and make sure he just can't raise everything back up. Because the main way you're going to be hurting these guys is through Crumbling. So as well, with that, a big thing you're going to need is you're going to need to get kills. So you're going to need to have those Night Goblins to tie up the worst of it. However, you're also going to need the units that can put in the kills. So whether that is chariots, which are going to support to add a whole bunch of kills so that you can get Crumbling as well, or whether going with Black Orcs, even big guns might be a good way to go, or even just sticking with cheaper troops and throwing a bunch of characters in there with great weapons or something, just to get a bunch of kills in there. The last thing that's great to do is link combats, and that is absolutely devastating for vampire counts. So let's say, you know, what you could have is 2 combats. Run in here, beat them by 5. Here, beat these guys by 5. You know, in each cases, you killed 5, 5 crumbled, or however, you know, the numbers kind of work out. However, if you were to find some way to link the combats, you know, making it so you can charge, you know, the 2 at once to try and draw them both in, then all of a sudden, even though you're killing 5 here and killing 5 here, 10 is crumbling and 10 is crumbling. And it only, you know, gets larger from there. If you link in 3 combats, whatever. You know, if you ever have an opportunity to link in these combats, unless it's one you think you're going to lose, go for it. That's going to be a great thing to do. Some little things to watch out for, though, some other tricks of theirs, is watch out things for like the corpse cards, because if they start making things like ghouls always strike first, and then because they're faster than you, they also get to re-roll the hit, I don't think you're going to be winning those combats. So just when it comes to power dice and knowing what to shut down, know that it's better to shut down support spells like Van Hels or that miasma spell of the corpse card rather than a few raising. You might say, damn, he's going to raise up 5 here and get a new rank. Who cares, as long as they're not always strikes first, or they cast Van Hales and now there's this horde on the flank of you, okay? So, going over it again, the main things is that they have some very tough hitting units. If you can, just try and bog those things down. Once those things are bogged down, engage everything else, link combats if you can, and make it all crumble. And hopefully at the end there, they've killed your 300 points of Night Goblins, and you've killed their 1,000 points of the rest of the army that isn't a Death Star, and then you win. So, there you go. And next time, let's see, which one should we do next? I don't know, let's do High Elves. That sounds very difficult. Okay, so we'll do Tournament High Elves next time. So, see you then. Bye.